Steve, that is way too quiet. Well, come on, man. That's way too loud.
Just trying to help.
Well, I mean, come on. Just hit it at the right volume, not too hard.
What are you guys doing?
We're trying to meditate and be mindful and, chill out.
Oh, well, it doesn't have to be this hard.
Can you help us?
Of course.
Thank you. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Dr.
E
and Dr. P. So November is Diabetes Month, and there's a focus on diabetes and well-being. So to talk about it, we have a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Preethika Ekanayake. I'm one of the clinical endocrinologists working with these guys at UC San Diego.
So we're saying she's both a Dr. E and a Dr. P, actually,
Exactly.
Which is great. So thank you for taking this away from Steve and, helping us with this mindfulness. So, mindfulness and, meditation, it's such a buzzword. So what is mindfulness?
Yeah, I think if I could summarize it in one word, it will be awareness. And then if I want to take another couple words and explain it more, awareness without, any judgment or too much introspection, being aware of what your situation and what you're presently doing.
And, with so much going on in everybody's lives, especially people with diabetes, with all the different things we have to deal with, how can mindfulness help?
Yeah, I think with any chronic illness, mindfulness has been shown to help with diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety, depression. But how it helps is it really helps you kind of focus in on either your breathing, or you could do an activity that's very mindful where your focus is in that, like music, art therapy, Tai Chi, yoga, what have you, to really refocus to the present moment so that your mind isn't, getting out of control and thinking a lot of thoughts about the future or the past.
So what's the difference between mindfulness and meditation? And we've learned from the podcast we just did many different types of meditation.
I would say meditation is a way to practice mindfulness, but mindfulness, I should say, is not exactly meditation. You could do many forms of activities to achieve mindfulness. Going on a walk, obviously, without being attached to gadgets, and really thinking about your environment, focusing on your breathing and how your body's moving. That's a way of mindfulness. So you don't have to do meditation to call it mindfulness. You could do a number of other activities and achieve mindfulness.
So just being aware of what you're doing at that present time, rather than what I got to do tomorrow or the next day, running through the list like we all do. Again, especially with people with diabetes. So, something?
I was just going to say, go for a walk without gadgets attached to you. Well, for me, that's tough.
Yeah.
I got my pump, my hybrid closed loop. However, we can minimize those, turn off the beat, turn off the sound. But it's, to me, so much of it makes common sense to try to focus in on you and what's going on with you as an individual, cut out the outside world. What's the trick to do that?
I think one can do different things, but I personally like walking meditation, where I just go out, like I said, in a peaceful walk where I'm focusing on my breathing, where I'm feeling my breath or counting my breath, or kind of focusing on how my feet are moving in my walk. Some people would do formal meditation where they sit on their bed, on a chair, on the floor, whichever, and really focus in on the inhalations, exhalation. And of course, your mind can wander during that time. That's not a bad thing. The key is to not be judgmental about it and bring it right back into where you are, what you're doing, and focusing back on the breath. And there's a lot of benefits in how this helps us center and avoid negative talk and a lot of negative self-judgmental type of talk, which can have a lot of benefits in chronic illness management and outcomes of those. There's been studies looking at meditation, focusing on breath work, helping with diabetes goals in the future, like reducing A1C and overall improving someone's well-being and happiness, which does translate into better chronic illness management.
Well, let me just ask you mentioned breathing a couple times. What's that all about, and what kind of exercises? You talked about it when you got up and had your coffee in the morning.
Yeah. So I think the easiest thing when you first get into this, meditation, mindfulness techniques is to do very short intervals so that you don't make it a chore. Because when you make it a chore or a new hobby, we all know like new hobbies go away, right? It's hard to keep up with those kind of chores that feel elective. So the way to accomplish this is usually in the morning, I would just sit there with my coffee and obviously get rid of visual stimuli and close my eyes and really focus on my in-breath and my out-breath, inhalation, exhalation. Sometimes I count. So 1 for the in, 2 for down, exhalation, 3 for inhalation. And I do that up to 10 and I start all over again. And that's a good way, at least personally for me, to kind of center and realize like, okay, I'm here with my coffee. Nothing else really matter right now. And just kind of disengage with some of the other stuff that's exterior to me. Yeah.
I think it's so important that you mentioned that there's research studies supporting this, lowering A1C and diabetes or high blood pressure or whatever it might be. Because a lot of the resistance can be, this is cheesy, this is just, some kind of hippie thing that I don't want to do. But, when people commit to it, it really can have powerful results on actual health outcomes. So
did it help you when you took your course?
Absolutely. I did take a course on mindfulness. So, for the people that are listening, they say, well, how do I start? What are the resources that you can give people?
Yeah, I think most people might know the Headspace app, and that's a great start. They have basic introduction to meditation courses. There's free apps. There's one called Plum Village, completely free. And you can do a lot of like Vietnamese-based Buddhist meditations with that, where you focus on your coffee cup and how the coffee's made, etc. And besides that, 10% Happier is another really great podcast you can listen to. There's a lot of information about meditation, how to begin meditation. So there's just a couple of resources.
We'll put that on our website as well.
Yeah, and we're already saying that we want to start in our weekly staff meetings doing some mindfulness and things like that, because the more we talk about it, the more we realize, it doesn't require much time, much effort, but what it does require is creating that habit. Thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed this dose, and make sure to share, follow, like, all those things, and we'll see you at the next one.